Website one. Right. So, well, this is sort of an impromptu website one coordination meeting because I'm not going to be around this coming Friday afternoon for me. Oh, we get like a video link now, do we? Oops. Okay. Right. Just so I guess do people have tickets that they
voted on one Friday?
That was on the video.
Can we
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking on the list not working. Looking on the videos and list not working. 1679.
Yes. Yeah, so we've got, and then I see that the guy who's got the new projects, the German television thing or whatever it is, was saying clicking on videos in this one, he's made that other comment about it. You voted. Oh no, what is this? Oh, is this the one you voted on? Sorry, what was the number of the one that you voted on?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. And we ended up. Okay. All right. So you're looking into that. That was like we fixed the HTTPS thing, and then it revealed some different problem.
Yes.
So, any progress on that one?
Did I say I was looking into it?
Oh, I don't know. It's got you down as an assignee, but
no, sorry, no progress.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. That's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you can if you're going to branch, you'll go into in progress. Okay. So I guess I've got that one agile bot issue. Is there, Michael? Do you have anything that you want to bring up? You're muted, Michael, if you're trying to tell us about things that you want to bring up.
Not offhand, no.
Okay. Right. This was the right. So the thing that you voted on was not this one, which is about users generally getting confused about how videos are added to projects and so on. I guess I would encourage, say let's try and vote. I'd love to vote on. If I've got three things. One is the agile bot issue that I just opened, so that the scrums ping the appropriate channel. The other one is the manual addition of videos. And is there a third? The third one I've got. Yeah. So this. I think it might. This one, actually, I guess, have we already voted on, or didn't even get voted on? So there are these three issues, of which the last one is the most important. We've got Let's Encrypt SSL certificates, which last for 3 months, and then in order to renew them, we've got to do various things. There's a possibility that we can set up for Heroku auto renew. Matt, do you have any tickets other tickets that you wanted to get voted on?
I'm not oh, he's talking.
Yeah, Matt, you're muted. You're talking, but you're muted.
Just the one on Friday. No, so
you just mentioned you had that one thing, and you don't need any other new ones voted on. All right, go on, Michael.
We should probably have a ticket to remove the Twitter stuff.
Right. Yes. I think now, did I even add something about that already? What have we got? Twitter messages being hitting network during tests. Yeah, I think what I did was, I turned off Twitter in the Heroku settings.
Right, but it's still kind of in the repo, and
It's in the repo. Well, it's the kind of thing that, like, if everything was working, then we might want to turn aspects of it back on, like, you know, tweeting the video links maybe has some value. I mean, it's an interesting issue there. You could say, right, we're not using this right now. Let's quickly remove it to reduce the overall complexity of the code base versus, well, we have it there because we might use it in future. It's currently turned off. But yeah, if you want to create a ticket for any which way, Michael, you're welcome to do so, and we can get that voted on.
oh, I guess if you don't want to, then
Well, this is the danger of me squashing everybody's, you know, ideas. I guess what I would love to do is clean up the whole thing, the whole event instances thing. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? You think it's, if you're keen to remove those bits of code, maybe that would make the whole thing cleaner. Go on.
let's see. Let's, I guess, postpone it until after the next week. After next week,
Sure.
see if
Right. Other than the design sprint, maybe we
see
decide
if there's any kind of design around replacing Hangouts.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, well, let's get so okay, so the board come back. So we've got these certs. Now, in order to initially get the SSL to work, I had to create like a little can I just do, I think I should have, I've got this thing where I've got like, I'm just gonna kill RubyMine. I'll tell you actually, what I'll do is I'll just turn off, what's simpler, I'll just turn off the screen share momentarily. And go to RubyMine. Yeah, I've got those. Not that there. Okay. What I ended up doing, come here. What I ended up doing is I think I created a new controller, I thought, that kind of answers this challenge. It's not authenticated as controller, is it? Huh. Why can't I see it? Events, documents, dashboard, cards, controller. You go to the application controller? That's weird. Ah. SSL challenge key. Yeah. Okay, now I'm confused. I'm looking at website 1. Okay, well, I'm double confused there. There was at least a pull request before on SSL. Sorry, I'm not being very effective here. If that come up here in the done. See, and then the done stuff, of course. Let's go to website 1. Oh, come on. What has happened there? Just tried to go to Agile Ventures / website 1. Pools. You can see the bit of code. I've got something where it mentions SSL. Right. Yeah, so as far as this was, I think did I start this and then I kind of gave up. So, right. Yeah, static pages controller. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so it's in here. Right. So there's this kind of like let's encrypt thing when you create the certificate, or I think when you renew it, it does this kind of challenge and your app has to respond with the right code in order for the certificate to be. It's basically proving that you have ownership of the SS of the domain. So I kind of hacked together this thing to make it work, but it's hard coded, and now I've just started getting these emails about the SSL expiring, and I think I have to run the set through the same process again, and probably it will require this so that, like, you know, that can be handled dynamically. What does it tell me? This is the. Let me show you the email. There we go. Yeah, your certificates. And I think that there's some possible option about, so that in principle we end up having to do every 3 months. There's, while we're on, given we're on Heroku, there's an option for it's like Heroku lets encrypt all the renew. Anyway, any questions about this issue?
I'm not sure. You want to pull this into an environmental variable, or is it already there?
It's not there at the moment. I think I started a pull request on it previously, and then for some reason I gave up and I didn't merge it because I wasn't sure if it was even the right way to go.
Well, it's, you have right now the token in the repo.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that like a major security issue?
I don't think it's a security issue because it's not the token. That's like a one-off generated token that was used once by Let's Encrypt to verify that we own the domain. But
so each time it's
like a one. I mean, it would have been briefly a security issue if someone could have hijacked the domain and then used the token things at the time. But so yeah, it's not actually like the key that supports the SSL thing itself, I think. So yeah, I mean, I've been seeing this like auto refresh thing for Heroku, which might make it simpler. Anyway, that's there. That's
what you have works. Why would you change it?
Oh, I would only change it so that I like. There's this in principle. There's this like for the 3 servers. There's like 3 sets of things. Like every 3 months, the thing will have to be run 3 times. So that.
Well, then we don't have to change the source every time, right? We just change the environmental variable.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's like if it requires that token to be different each time, then we should certainly like pull it out into an environment variable that we can just change as we need. I'm also wondering, is there a way to use this auto enable thing here? But maybe I'm just imagining that, and then this certbot also, or what have you. So
maybe it's another research ticket.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the steps will be, the key steps will be, if we go, I mean, that's the problem with this ticket is it's kind of, we have the solution specified when it's not clear that necessarily that's what the solution will be. So what we should say here is, renew, the action is renew full SSL certificates. And then these, let me also say, or maybe we need to.
So then you're putting the research into that ticket because you can't finish that ticket without researching.
Yeah, I mean it's the.
Okay.
I mean, well, the key thing is that the short-term ticket is the SSL certificates have to be renewed in the next 9 days, and because we're doing design sprint next week, I'm like, got to do it this week.
Oh, so you said or, okay.
Yeah, I mean, but basically, and then so the kind of like, action plan for this is, basically one, I think before putting the thing into an environment or whatever, is just try to update certificate on develop, and like see if it just works with the old token. I mean, we may still like. I got to know which thing is varying, or I mean, one of the things is a parameter ID coming in, what have you. Maybe there'll be an option to. Maybe it doesn't need the, you know, maybe it doesn't do that same challenge the next time around. I don't know. Maybe it does. Try to develop to determine, you know, what's required. And it's kind of like, so if manual change required to code base extract to nvar is probably a good way to go. And then I guess as a separate thing, it's like, you know, there's an optional. Once it would be in an nvar. Potentially, it brings the time to getting it done down to something quite small. Optional. See if there is an automated approach. But that would be the key thing would be this, followed up by that, and possibly looking into that. So, do we any other questions, or should we just vote on this one?
Fine.
Yeah. Okay. Order. This is renew SSL certs. Okay. You want to hit a? There we go. That's the three of us. All right. Okay. Well, so myself and Michael have gone for medium. Matt, you've said simple. What is there? Just
Okay.
What were your reasoning behind simple?
If it's just the first two steps, it seems pretty easy to me. But
Yeah, I think like it's one of those. For me, it's one of those situations where
you don't know what's going to happen. I mean,
yeah, like I might try this, and then maybe there's like some, you know, it may require some more complicated handshake. There's just, you know, kind of like some sets of unknown things there that make me kind of go.
That's fine. I was thinking it was just.
I'm certainly hoping that's what it'll be, and then it kind of retrospectively we can say, oh yes, it was simple. It's one of those things with when you haven't done it before, you're kind of like,
Yeah. Okay. Since we haven't done it before.
Yeah. All right. Let's go for the two then. All right, that's done. I guess the other thing to be looking at was did anybody commit to doing other stuff on previously? And so before we go on to voting or anything else, is there anything that people worked on they want to report back on? I guess it's a no.
I got one ticket to vote on, I think.
Oh, have you? Oh, well, let's vote on yours then. Yeah. What's yours?
The one about researching GraphQL.
Uh-huh.
And maybe before we vote on it, we could, like, what would that involve, do you think? I mean, maybe replacing one call or something with, but not all of them, or?
Well, so
there's a bit to it. I think you have to run some server thing to intercept these GraphQL calls, and then you know, it's not just there's a little
well, what I would say is research.
So, what is the point of this? Like, what is the point of
what
GraphQL?
Let me before you go into that, Michael. I'll just say one thing is I would say Matt. I don't think research tickets need voting on necessarily. I think they can be voted on. I don't think they're required in order to do research. I mean, because research could be open-ended. If I may, Matt, answer Michael's question, and then Matt, perhaps you can correct my misunderstanding, is you're thinking about possibly using GraphQL here because you're aware that there might be some problems with the way that we're currently using the GitHub API that are causing timeouts or issues. Or, I mean, Michael, we've added more logging now, haven't we? So potentially you could be getting more information about what's happening there.
Yes.
But I guess you haven't looked into it yet.
Wait, then I'm just thinking it's it allows you to do more easily. So if we wanted to expand our use
of the GitHub API. Well, it sounds like a great thing to research. I guess the
little queries, you don't do a lot of coding, as much coding.
that sounds great. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I would say, if you're interested in it, look into it and like experimentally do some queries in it and show us some like before and after. In particular, if there are some bits of code in our code base that would be massively cleaned up and much simpler as a result of using it, then, I mean, it doesn't have to be that you like do a pull request. It can just be that you can sketch out in GraphQL.
Then on the other hand, if we get everything working without it, then there's not a lot of incentive.
It depends. It depends what it could offer us. I mean, I guess I think it's always great to be researching new technologies,
Right.
and finding out what they have, because if we're, as I think Michael might say, if we're always only focusing on fixing the current next thing, we fail to look beyond. But I think that part of your motivation was thinking about, let's clear up our AutoKit queries.
Yeah, one thing I'm realizing is like Waffle doesn't have anything like dependencies, like, because when I was working at Zipcar, a lot of things depended on another issue. And I would like to say this one kind of depends on whether or not we easily fix the current code.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't have a specific, but you could in principle kind of write in here. What you can do is if you just get the number of, I guess what did we have what was this? I mean, I just type GitHub, we can maybe find, what was the tip? And what's annoying about here, did we lose okay, so like maybe this was I mean, you're now getting the GitHub activity tab. Is it kind of correct for you, Matt?
No, I don't. I think there's still problems with it. That's why I think we need.
Right. So then, what you could, in order to demonstrate the dependency, what you can do is say in here, like, whether we use this may depend on further investigations into issues arising from, and then do like the number of the tickets, like that, and then
if there were any automated, any linkage function, I guess there isn't in Waffle.
Waffle and GitHub issues, there's no way of saying like they don't have a category of dependency where you say this depends on that. I think what GitHub goes for is saying, like, if you can just have it refer to those things. And it seems like, I guess we've got
it's just go on.
Automated,
it lets you say, not pull a ticket if another one is depending, and
right. Now, well, then that's if you start creating a hard dependency, then you have the danger that someone puts that hard dependency in, someone else can't remove it, and then a ticket can't be worked on, and that's all then this balance against, how structured should it be?
You can do it in Jira, and it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, and I think GitHub is antithetical to that approach.
Oh, okay.
In that they're saying it should be this loose cohesion of relations rather than these strong dependencies, because the strong dependencies assume that you can, as it were, be sure about the dependencies. If you're going to create logic like that says if this dependency is not met, then you can't pull the ticket. Anyway, but so Michael, do we have a ticket which is related to this intermediate step that we have here? We've deployed the code that shows the more details on what's happening when we run this command. Do we have a ticket for now? Like is there a bug ticket for the problems that you're still seeing, Matt?
No, that's what I mentioned that the last meeting, I think, but we never identified the exact, and I'm trying to think of what they are.
Okay, so I guess
no, don't you noticed some problems, didn't you?
What are we talking about? I was looking in Paper Trail.
Oh,
I
aren't
think
there no problems with the commit counts or the?
Yeah, there are problems with them,
Yeah, I just
Right.
and
we
the
need
Right.
way that projects are ranked on the pages are.
something.
Right.
Right.
And do we have a ticket that describes that problem?
I don't think so directly.
No. Okay. So let's add a ticket that describes that. So then basically the general issue is our GitHub data is not up to date.
Right.
So at the moment we update daily, but still some things seem to be out of date, e.g. last update, and some like
Some
lots of
projects aren't even showing up. Like
projects.
Free Ranger, I think noticed something, didn't
It's
he?
not showing up in people's activity tabs.
Yeah.
So then, we've added extra logging. And the next step is to find the cause of failure for some of our GitHub queries. So if either of you have specifics of something, you could very easily add that to that ticket. And
Yeah, I'll look afterwards. I might.
yeah,
I one at least.
and so it's kind of a research ticket rather than the solution. So I guess that we don't need to vote on it per se.
Well, I think it's just there's a project that Free Ranger has.
Yeah.
I can find it right now.
Sure. Oh yeah. So that's great if you can find that. I guess Michael, is it all right to assign you to look into that? It sounds like you're already looking into it.
Yeah, I guess.
If there's research, just put it in the ticket, but don't, and then
Yeah,
put it back. But you don't want to fix it. Just put it.
Yeah. So I mean, it depends. Michael may come up with a. I mean, we can. It seems silly to vote on it when we're still. I guess I'll put it back in the backlog. But anyway.
So, I think the time that you pushed it, either like there's no logs.
Right. So we lose logs from.
There's no logs with the new updates.
Right. Well, we lose logs each day, like on Papertrail.
I think literally for $7 you can get
right. So but I think
like much better logging. But yeah,
I'm sure that's true. Even more immediately, without the cost of money, what you could do is you could kick off the run, as I did, and like from locally, and see the output. I don't know if you remember that I pasted in the output from that run previously. And it was showing various errors. Do you remember that?
I think you showed a little bit of it.
Yeah. So here we go. Yeah. So this is it. So I could share in that ticket, like I'll put in a gist or something. The full. This was a complete run for like update the user stats or what have you.
And did that have like the cloned database?
Yeah.
From production.
Right.
Okay.
I think that this actually was running against production. Like I was running. This is like output from the.
From inside of Rails console.
It was doing like Heroku run rake the thing minus our production, and so this was coming out of it. So I can put that in a gist and link it in the ticket, and you can have a look at it. And you can also feel free to run the thing yourself. Maybe there will be some data that's coming in here and more that's coming out in the log that's not being shown here or what have you. But okay, well, there was a couple other tickets potentially to vote on, but I'm thinking it's maybe time to wrap up the meeting, unless there's anything else that we think that's critical to coordinate.
So we're not voting on this one?
Well, it seems like, what can we say? You know, it needs to be investigated. We don't know. Like, it seems silly to vote on it where, I mean, we can all like speculate. Oh,
Yeah, that's what you said. Okay.
you know what I mean? The ticket itself is like to look through the error logs and see if we can figure out.
It's funny that we got columns like where a ticket isn't quite ready to work on yet, but it's still been voted on. So that seems to me where a point where you do research, but
Yeah.
maybe
Maybe the structure needs to change. I don't know.
almost like we don't need that one column if there's no research being done on before we start working on it. You know what I mean? I don't think you need that column in the
Which one? The estimated?
estimated way. Things can go right to ready if there's no.
Well, I guess the idea is that ready means that they've been prioritized. I mean, this partly follows this process where we were just trying to get every ticket voted.
Okay, then there's a use for it. It's just not the use I was thinking.
But it may be that it's, since we're now only voting on things that people bring to the table, and then they, you know, it's maybe
You can almost prioritize them.
we could maybe lose the estimated column. It would be simple. Yeah. And then they're just, you know, the stuff that people bring is prioritized in ready.
Where would all those voted on tickets go?
Well, indeed, they could go back into the backlog, and they just happen to be voted ones in the backlog. It's a useful way of like stuff that we voted on previously. I mean, to a certain extent, it feels like they should kind of decay. So, because like if you voted on something more than a couple of months ago, like nobody really remembers what the whole thing, and maybe it needs re-voting on. But anyway, this is stats.
There was a whole thing on a blog post a long time ago, I think, by Joel and Software, where he talked about grooming your backlog and how that's an absurd idea.
I think we used maybe that method when we had a needs research column instead of that one to do that. That's why I'm thinking that way.
I mean,
He was saying that people spend a lot of time grooming their backlog.
Right.
And he said the fact is like 90% of that backlog will never be done.
Right.
So you're like spending all that time like
No, totally.
thinking about things that will never happen.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, so that I've got a link. Hold on, Matt. I've got a link to that output there, that data there in that ticket for you, Michael. So, you know, feel free to have a look through. I mean, even just looking at it superficially here, does it? And we've got like, I mean, there are failures.
Yeah, there's failures all around.
Like, anyway, I think because we potentially got the AV community meeting in about 10 minutes, so I think we can leave that to be looked at separately. Yeah, there we go. We managed that. I guess, yeah, that's it for today. Almost at 1. At least we've had a bit of a coordination, which is good. Cool. I'll maybe see you both in about 10 minutes for the AV community meeting, where we maybe make some more plans for the design spread.
Yeah, I'll be there. I didn't think I could, but I got time.
Cool. All right. See you in a bit. Bye for now.